Howdy, I'm Randy, your Chief Memory Architect from the Getaway Travel, and we are here for another episode of Tuesday Travel. And I've got some great friends that I've met just recently. Meredith, who is the inside sales account manager,
yes,
is that right?
Yes.
For Globus family of brands?
Yes, you're right.
All right. And then we got Amelia here, who is a cruise director for Avalon Waterways.
Yes.
Now, I got to just tell you right now, if you haven't checked out my videos on Avalon Waterways with my experience of the Envision, doing the Upper Danube, check it out. We'll link it down below. But amazing company, and we're going to learn all about it here today. So let's start off with first, how old is Avalon and how did it begin?
Avalon began 2011 and it's part of the Globus family of brands. Globus family of brands is a company that is family owned, from Switzerland. Antonio Mantegazza started the family 96 years ago.
God.
So Globus was coach touring.
Okay.
And then it evolved to a second brand which is named Cosmos.
Okay.
Cosmos is budget tours.
Okay.
So you get the same beautiful sites, it's just that the hotel will change. So small changes, the hotels will be a little bit
So instead of a 4-star, maybe a 3-star?
A 3-star for sure for Cosmos, and the Globus kept 4-star hotels, all downtown in the city center. And then in 2011 they opened a new brand which is called Avalon Waterways. So it's our sweet ships on European rivers.
And she called them sweet ships, and I'm going to tell you, they are sweet in more ways than one. We're going to talk more about that because I'm going to tell you, I haven't done any of the other river cruises. This was the first one I've ever done, but I am hooked. I am a Avalon Waterways addict.
That's a good way of putting it. Hooked and
yes.
got him.
Yeah, I tell you, y'all threw the lure out there and I bit that sucker and swallowed that hook all the way down.
Can't let go.
All right, so the same guy in the little rowboat that started Globus started this massive company called Avalon Waterways, which is unbelievable. And in 2011, think about that, folks. 13 years, and now Avalon is in how many countries?
Is in 24 countries of Europe, is on 11 rivers for navigation that we have, so all of them, we are covering all of them, and has 77 different itineraries.
77 itineraries, all right. And this is operated on a fleet of how many ships?
16
ships.
15 up until April now. In April the 16th we'll be navigating the River Douro in Portugal. So it's by far the newest ship that you can find on the river, and it's our youngest.
Yeah.
And it's also, because it's the smallest river, it's also the smallest ship.
Okay, now let's talk about the size of these ships, because I'm sorry guys, I do not like cruises because there's way too many people on them. But
It's like herding cattle.
yeah, no, it's worse than herding cattle. It's absolutely worse. I've herded cattle before, and I've been on a cruise ship before, and I'll herd cattle any day.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, my experience with Avalon Waterways, the ship that I was on was the Envision.
Yeah.
All right. How many staterooms or cabins was on that?
We have a capacity for Envision, and that category of ship, which is the largest one that we have, 166 passengers.
166 passengers.
Yes.
Now,
On that ship.
On
And
the
then
ship.
there's the second category, just slightly smaller, 128 passengers. And there's only one exception, which will be the new one on Douro, which is 102.
okay. Now, 102, 128,
28.
and 166.
Yes.
That's not very many folks. In the 166, I think whenever I was on this particular ship, I think there was 138 passengers. And then crew, this is what's amazing, guys. The ratio, correct me if I'm wrong, is 3 to 1.
Yes.
So for every 3 passengers, there is 1 staff. The service was impeccable, unbelievable. Kudos to Avalon for that. Now, let me ask this question. on the Avalon ships that do, let's say Europe.
Yes.
Because I'm assuming Europe is the hotspot. That's the
It is, definitely
where,
it is.
of the 77 itineraries. Is that correct?
I'm talking now just European-wise.
No, but there's a total of 77.
Yes,
How many are in Europe?
77.
Others,
This is for Europe.
all Europe.
All Europe. Because the others would be on the Nile in Egypt,
Yeah.
and there's Mekong between Cambodia and Vietnam. So we have outside of Europe as well, but this is what I'm talking about. On
Today is Europe. Okay. Now, there's an upper Danube, a lower Danube.
Yes,
There's the Mosel.
yes.
Help me with the different
The
rivers. Seine.
The Rhine,
Rhine.
the Rhine. Did you say the Rhine?
No, the
Sorry. We have the Danube, Danube Canal. We have the Main itself. So
Okay.
yeah, comes
Now-
to 11.
Now, let me ask you this. The one I was on, the upper Danube, was extremely picturesque.
Yes.
Is that the most picturesque?
No, all of them are.
All
they
of them
all they all have something special to themselves. They
Yeah.
will all have special villages. They will all have castle areas. We're castle people.
Yeah.
If it's not a church, it's a castle. If it's not a castle, then it's a church, or was a church, and we modified it. So that's what we do.
Yeah.
Churches and castles. Come on, it's Europe.
Well, churches, castle, beer, wine, and it's
And
hey,
chocolate.
Food.
we rounded it out.
Yeah.
And food.
So yeah, castle areas in all our cruisings, you will find castles. You find castles on the Seine. You find castles everywhere in France, for example. You find castle area, the Wachau Valley, which is on
Yeah.
the Danube. You've been to that one.
Yeah.
We have the Rhine Gorge, which is on the Rhine, and so on and so on. On the Moselle as well, on the Main as well.
Now, something else that I thought was unique on whenever I was on the cruise was that they have each day they have excursions, and the excursions are included. Now, there are in some of the ports that you go into, there are some additional excursions that cost extra, but it's minimal. I mean,
Not even 10%. 90% of our excursions are included,
yeah,
and the 10% those are like special interests.
yes,
Someone will not feel like forced to do is there is one. It's amazing. It's bunkers, World War II bunkers, built by the French, by General Maginot. It's called the Maginot Line, and it is nearby Strasbourg. That is a World War II excursion. Many people are not interested.
Yeah.
They simply don't want to see it. I call it a ladies and gentlemen excursion because we have what I say, like the boys will go play World War II in the bunkers. And opposite that excursion, at the same time, we are running a wine tasting excursion. So on that one, so all the boys who went to play World War II, I will have their better halves going to the wine tasting.
Give them options.
Give them options. Those are the options.
Well, and there are options, and that's another thing. There's 3 levels of tours. If I remember correctly, and let's see, classic, discovery,
Yes, discovery.
and then
active.
and active. And I'm going to tell you. So if you're the active person and you like hiking and kayaking and biking and all that kind of stuff, you can do it.
Yeah.
If you're the not so active and you just want to do a walk through the town at a leisurely pace with a great informational tour guide, then you can do the classic. And then the discovery, which for instance, I can't remember where we were, but we were somewhere and we went in and we went to an opera house and we listened to some Mozart and
Vienna,
some
you were in
Beethoven.
Vienna.
We were in Vienna, that's right. And so there's a little bit for everybody. But the one thing that caught me the most was, like I say, on the one I went on, there was like 138 people. We found ourselves meeting and becoming friends with like little cliques, and I'll call it little cliques because there was 3 or 4 couples that we would have breakfast with each morning.
Yeah.
Completely different set of people that we would meet on the different tours. And then at happy hour, don't forget happy hour.
That's important.
Yeah, there would be another 3 or 4 different couples that we would always meet and have happy hour with.
Yeah.
And it may not be the same people that we're going to have dinner with right after happy hour.
Yeah.
So you meet people from everywhere, and it is so cool. Now, you being a cruise director,
Yes.
you are basically in charge of making sure that everybody is safe,
Yes.
having fun,
Yes. Well fed.
and doing what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
What else?
I organize a program. So
Okay.
my primary job is to organize everything. So if we have a visit of Budapest, for example, so if it's a classical tour, we assume that you've never been to Budapest. Maybe you have and you want to see it again. So I will organize 4 coaches and 5 local guides to take you around the city, to show you the city. If you don't want to do that, maybe you've seen Budapest 15 times and your family and friends haven't. So they really want to see the main points, and you'll simply like hiking. So I will organize a hiking excursion for you running at the same time, and you will all end up and finish at the same spot at the same time for you to meet again with them.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's what we do. Our tours, our excursions go from an average of 4 to 13 a day. So if it's a classical cruise, you will have 4 of them. You will have the main points. You have to see the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
You have to see Mona Lisa, first time when you're in Paris. If you're there more times, then you want to see something else, something new,
Yeah.
something that no one else is doing. That we do on active and discovery cruises. Okay, so we take you to small ports off the beaten path where we don't have big crowds, something special, something still French, if just an example, if you like France, okay?
Uh-huh.
It's an amazing place, by the way. I love that tour at cruise. Yeah. So I get very excited about my job. I still love it. It's been 11 years, by the way. So yeah, so we take you to do something extra, something special, yeah, and something more active. There you will have 13 excursions a day.
Wow.
And you can't tell me that you don't like any of them.
No, absolutely not.
You have to be.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah, there's something for
sure.
everyone.
Now, big question.
Sure.
Do y'all have specialty cruises? Let's say that that's a wine lover's cruise.
Mm-hmm. We have.
And are they specific sailings?
Yes. The specific sailing I'm doing personally one now in April is the culinary. It's the same itinerary you did. So it will go from Vilshofen to, we'll have an extension to Prague. So you can add extra 2 days in Prague with the
Okay.
program. It will be a foodie cruise, you know, it's culinary. So on the ship and outside of the ship, we'll have our chef and chefs coming on. We'll have workshops. We go through 6 countries, so we can teach you different cuisines in 6 countries.
Very cool.
And when we are docked, we go outside to different venues where again we have lectures, workshops, and so on. And if you did not do well, we don't force you to eat your own.
Can you eat somebody else's?
If they did well, you should.
Yeah, I'll
Well,
try theirs.
We're talking about a specialty cruise there. But let me tell y'all something, though, that I found very, very unique when we were on the cruise, is that they source their ingredients. When they come into port, they're sourcing their ingredients right there from the local farmers.
Yes.
And so what they're bringing on, and then not only that, but the chef on the ship is preparing local favorites
Yes.
that pertain to the area that you're in.
We try to keep it as authentic as possible.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
I mean, home run on that one for sure. The food quality is unbelievable. It's farm to table basically. Same thing with the wines. They get the local wines. They get the local beers. They do everything. And there's now. Correct me if I'm wrong on the name. I think it was called the Lighthouse
Mm-hmm.
for the eco part. of
Lighthouse
Avalon.
project.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So for you eco-friendly people, I'm going to tell you, Avalon is all over it. I guess it's the global family brands, or
It
is it
is.
just Avalon?
No, it's all of us.
All right. So the whole it's called the Lighthouse Project, and they're making everything eco-friendly. They're doing. I mean, for instance, in the rooms, excuse me, not rooms, the suites. Yes, the suites. And I'm going to tell you right now, Panorama Suite. You got to get, if you can't afford the Royal Suite, Panorama Suite's the way to go. And in there, bottled water, glass bottle,
Yep.
refilled
Twice a day.
twice a day. Yeah. No, Avalon does it right. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
No plastic flowers.
No. We got a beautiful floral arrangement. It was gorgeous.
Orchids in every room,
Yeah.
and all throughout the ship is all real flowers, which is being delivered to us constantly.
Wow.
Attention to detail is unmatched.
It is, and the staff. I was amazed at how fast they turned those stateroom suites. I mean, they turned them quick.
Yeah.
it was the most pleasant. I said this to a friend of mine at breakfast this morning. I have a hard time relaxing when I go on vacation per se, because that's what I do is vacation. So I'm always criticizing and critiquing everything around me. Avalon, nobody gets 100, but they got a 99.
What was the one?
Huh?
There's
always something you can improve on.
We need to know what was the one.
There's always something you
We
can
want to
improve
make
on.
it better.
Okay, well, you'll come back on my cruise.
Yeah,
We'll talk about this.
Yeah, because in my eyes, nobody has gotten to the 100 yet. Because if you get to the 100, then something new happens, and you've got to improve upon that.
Yes.
So you're going to always be improving. But a 99 out of 100 is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
All right, now something I want to find out, because we have this culinary cruise that you were talking about. I'm assuming y'all have a wine lovers cruise.
Of course, a beer tasting cruise.
Do y'all have a beer tasting cruise?
Of course, we have history cruises, Habsburg family, World War I, World War II, meet the royals. You can.
All right, guys, we are going to be putting together some little small groups to taste the culinary, the wines, the beers. We're going to put these together, and we're going to all travel together, and we're going to have some fun. So you guys get ready. Be checking the website at getawaytravel.com, because we're going to have some unique opportunities out there with Avalon Waterways coming up here shortly. So you're going to want to subscribe to this channel for sure, because that way you'll stay in touch with everything that we have going on, and you're going to get to meet cool friends like we have that get to take us on amazing adventures and create amazing experiences that last a lifetime. So thank you, ladies, for taking the time for coming to come over and meeting with me today. Thank you for coming all the way across the pond. I mean, we appreciate it.
I had to buy cowboy boots, so I had to come.
You got some boots?
4 pairs.
Ooh.
She
And a
needed
hat.
to stuff that luggage in luggage so she could carry all her goods home.
Okay. Now, I asked Iris on a previous video if she had an opportunity to have any of our good Texas beer. You're a wine lover. Have you tried any of our Texas wines yet?
No, they keep giving me margaritas,
Oh.
and I love them.
She
Well,
does.
we're going to make sure you get some Texas wine before you go home.
I'll be happy to.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Hey, you guys stay tuned. We've got another video coming up right over here.